own hands, you take them to court.
This is Rick Sanchez.
And this is Denise White. Coming up next on Channel 7 News at 5, a gruesome discovery in a field in northwest Miami.
Also an update on school asbestos right here in South Florida. We're going to show you how the cleanup is going so far. That's next on Channel 7 News at 5.
Ralph Edwards Productions in association with Stu Village Productions and is distributed by Lorimar Telepictures.
South Florida's news station, WSVN 7.
Arrived at the airport at 5.
40 people have survived.
Let's cut it there.
Union leaders today called in 20 seconds.
Channel 7 News at 5.
Good evening from the Channel 7 newsroom. I'm Denise White.
And I'm Rick Sanchez, and these are the top stories tonight at 5 o'clock. A horrifying find in South Florida. A dead baby's body has been thrown out with the trash.
Tonight, a treasure hunt of sorts as an oil company searches for black gold. And the medical waste problem is getting worse before it gets better.
Tonight, the life of somebody who barely even had a life has come to an abrupt end. It is the body of a dead baby found today in a field in northwest Miami. Channel 7's Dan Halsey's been following the story, and he picks it up from here.
The baby girl was found in a bag among the garbage of an overgrown lot off 17th Avenue at 65th Street. Judy Hertz made the discovery while scavenging for empty cans.
I picked the seat in the bag. I saw it was a bag full of cans, and I emptied the bag, and the baby fell out.
Investigators began searching for the baby's mother, asking onlookers if they knew of any women near ready to give birth. This man described a woman he saw near the field this morning.
She was just walking down the street with a gun on, holding the stomach like she was hurting.
Many who live or work in this neighborhood have been numbed by the crack deals and the petty crime. But even for them, the sight of a newborn child discarded was too much.
It was terrible. Terrible. I couldn't imagine anybody doing anything like that.
I mean, it's hard, I realize, but to leave such a beautiful thing sitting there, who knows? That baby could have been a star. It could have been well-educated, grew up to be, who knows? Everybody's not bad.
A police technician cradled the dead infant, swaddled in burlap and plastic, and then loaded its body into a morgue wagon for a ride to a slightly more dignified resting place. A detective on the scene said it did appear the baby was at one time breathing a new life. It'll be up to the medical examiner to determine that for sure. If so, it's possible the mother could be charged with murder. Dan Housley, Channel 7 News.
And right now, police are asking anyone with information about this case to call the Miami Police Department, or you can also call Crime Stoppers.
A close call for some school children in Orange Park, Florida tonight. A drifter driving a stolen church bus to a public elementary school tried to pick up a load of children. Police arrested that man after a teacher became suspicious. The suspect was carrying a newspaper clipping about Monday's shooting of a young girl at an elementary school in Muskoka, Florida, several counties away. Police say the bus thief does not match the description of that Muskoka gunman. Tonight, police are searching for one of two juveniles who escaped from a special treatment center at Dade County's Youth Hall. It happened last night. The boys were being held in a minimum security area. Police say they tricked a guard, then took off with a key. Well, tonight, one of them has been recaptured. The other is still on the loose. The judge who created a special program for youth offenders says there have been at least 6 escapes in the last year. More on that tonight at 6 o'clock, plus the report on another guard about to be fired for one of many escapes plaguing the Broward Juvenile Detention Center.
Tonight, they are drilling for black gold in Dade County tonight. Well, that's the Shell Western Oil Company, and they want to know if there's any petrol below the fields out in West Dade. Tonight, crews were out stringing cable, that is, preparing for tests that'll tell them what's below
the actual geology under the surface of the earth, but they won't tell us definitely yes or no whether there is oil under there.
Those crews are going to be stringing cables for the next couple of months in Dade County. If oil is found, they won't be drilling for at least another year or more. That's because first the issue has to be put before a public hearing. New concerns about Lake Okeechobee tonight. South Florida's only source of fresh water is being fouled by huge amounts of phosphorus. Right now, water managers aren't sure what to do about it. There is one possible solution, though: buying out farms near the lake to eliminate phosphorus from agricultural runoff. Officials warn even if the problem is solved immediately, the lake condition could still continue to decline.
The problem of medical waste on South Florida's beaches is spreading tonight. Palm Beach County has a mess on its hands. Hundreds of needles washing ashore near Lake Worth. Channel 7's Linda Zoman joins us now live from our Broward newsroom with all the details. Linda?
Well, Denise, the needles started washing ashore Wednesday night, between 400 and 500 of them near the Lake Worth Inlet. Now, the needles were unused, covered in plastic, no syringes like have been found on Broward beaches. The Palm Beach Health Department has already tracked down where they came from. It turns out the U.S. Navy is the most likely culprit. The Navy says, indeed, the needles match lot numbers from their Norfolk, Virginia supply depot, and they've started an investigation to try and find out what ship they came from. Now, just last month, needles from this same Navy lot washed up near St. Augustine, so health authorities think the needles have been floating around out there for between 3 and 4 weeks. Denise?
And Channel 7's Linda Zoman reporting live from our Broward newsroom. A gas leak creating havoc for shoppers and motorists at Hollywood's Fashion Center shortly before 2. Construction workers accidentally ruptured a gas main. As a precaution, police closed the shopping mall, part of Hollywood Boulevard between 441 and 56th Street, and the Firestone building. Workers were able to cap that leak quickly. Hollywood Boulevard is now open.
Tonight, some South Florida parents are worried about asbestos contamination in their children's classrooms. That after 2 day schools were closed last spring when traces of the cancer-causing chemical were found. Well, as Channel 7's Olga Bachachi reports tonight, school officials say there is nothing to worry about.
Most students at Sylvania Heights Elementary showed up for school today, despite concerns about the school being contaminated with airborne asbestos. But this woman decided to keep her son at home until she gets some answers.
He has to come to school sometime, and, you know, if this continues, I'm not going to send him to school.
School officials have been meeting with parents at this school trying to ease their fears. In fact, within the next few weeks, all parents of children in Dade's public schools will receive an asbestos update detailing a district-wide asbestos inspection of each school in the county. So should parents be concerned?
They shouldn't be, because there is no danger in the school. If there were, we would have shut the school down.
School officials aren't the only ones conducting tests. This government report shows that the presence of asbestos in a building doesn't necessarily mean there's a danger to humans. And as long as the material containing asbestos is not disturbed, exposure is unlikely. And so, although 90% of the schools in the county have asbestos somewhere in the building, authorities claim there's no danger to anyone.
But the majority of the asbestos in the school is hidden. It's not in a place where it can be tampered with. It is in good condition.
Still, officials will continue to inspect these schools every 6 months to ensure no asbestos fibers have been released. Olga Bichachi, Channel 7 News.
Olga also tells us tonight that all schools built before 1977 have some type of materials like the floors, the ceilings, or pipe insulation that contains asbestos. Tests will be conducted in all schools at least every 3 years. Angry parents in southwest Broward tonight are vowing to stop construction of an elementary school. They say the school will endanger their children's health. Parents say the school going up at Sterling Road and southwest 160th Avenue is too close to power lines. They say power lines could lead to an increase in leukemia in their children. But Florida Power and Light denies that. School officials say so far tests show no problem. But testing, they say, is going to continue, and so will construction.
Here are the stories making news around the country and the world tonight. Reports from Lebanon say kidnapped church envoy Terry Waite may soon be free. The unconfirmed report surfaced in an Arab newspaper. It claims Waite has been moved to a Beirut suburb and may be released within the next 72 hours. In Seoul, South Korea, thousands of student protesters battling riot police outside Korea University. It was the worst clash since the end of the Summer Olympics. And 50 anti-abortion protesters are jailed in Atlanta tonight. They were arrested for blocking the entrances to abortion clinics. It's the 4th day of protest in what's being called the Siege of Atlanta.
It's time to check in with Bob Soper right now, who's hanging out with pelicans this afternoon. Why, I don't know, but maybe he'll explain it to us. Bob, what's going on?
Well, it's Baynanza. You know, it's that time of year, 1988. We're after basically understanding more about the Bay and enjoying the Bay as well, along with the Columbus Day Regatta. There's going to be next weekend the Sandy Shoes Festival, and we got some Girl Scouts with us. Go ahead and pull out. Girl Scouts, what troop you from?
86.
86. And these are some of the girls that are going to help clean up the Bay. And they're looking for weather like this to stick around. Here's the temperatures you got for you this afternoon. 91 degrees at Miami. The beach is 85. Fort Lauderdale's 90. And in Kendall, it's 86 degrees. Key West is 85. West Palm Beach, 87. We're going to have mostly, well, I don't know about that. I think we'll probably see mostly fair skies tonight, and it's going to be mild. Overnight low 73 to 77. So, if you get a chance to get out and enjoy, you'll be just like these girls, right?
Yes.
Yes, boy, they sure talk loud, Denise and Rick.
And watching themselves on TV, and they're mighty impressed,
They
too,
seem
I
to
think.
be. That's Bob Soper from Pelican Harbor.
Coming up on Channel 7 News at 5, the legal battle heats up in a bizarre baby swapping case.
Also coming up, Beach Boy Mike Love demonstrates a quick new way to stay healthy.
Dave Lennox. Since 1895, new ideas in heating and cooling. Get up to a $300 rebate or 12-month 0% financing on selected high-efficiency Lennox products. Call your independent Lennox dealer.
Here's another air conditioning company for quality cooling and heating for your home or business.
Don't call any other, call another.
If service, reliability, and quality are important, call Meyer Air Conditioning. In business since 1952.
Just ask your neighbor about Meyer.
Attaboy, Dave.
It provides 10 years of corrosion protection, 24-hour roadside assistance, the assurance of a guaranteed resale index, and scheduled maintenance for 3 years or 50,000 miles at no extra cost. It's called the Audi Advantage, and it provides security from delivery to trade-in, provided, of course, you buy a new Audi.
See the Audi Collection Miami, Bremen Audi North Miami, or Champion Audi in Pompano.
Paper towels.
If you're the kind of shopper who goes to Zare with only one thing in mind. How about this?
Paper towels. Paper towels.
That's good.
It's perfect.
You could be missing out on some really great looks.
Get these jeans, Mom. Ooh, nice price. Paper towels.
Sooner or later.
Towels. Did somebody say jeans?
It'll hit you.
Look at all this great stuff.
So,
Blouses.
why wait?
Get a good look at Zare.
There is a bitter legal battle underway in a Sarasota courtroom tonight in a bizarre baby swapping case. A Pennsylvania couple is asking for blood tests on a West Florida girl they say is their daughter. Ernest and Regina Twiggs say their baby was actually swapped at birth 10 years ago for a sick baby that is not theirs, and they say this happened at Harding Memorial Hospital just outside of Tampa. That child, incidentally, recently died of heart disease. In medical news tonight, researchers in Miami announcing 2 birth control methods for women. New birth control methods for women. A recently developed item called the female condom is for sexually active women who may be at a high risk of contracting AIDS. Also being developed is a contraceptive implant that would be injected into a woman's arm and would be effective for up to 5 years. The researchers say the implants will work just as well as birth control pills.
Our eyes, they are our windows to the world, but that world would look completely different if we suffered from a vision problem. Tonight, Dr. Red Duke takes a closer look at a common eye ailment and how it affects our viewpoint.
Now, if you've ever watched a 3D or three-dimensional movie, you'll be struck by the fact that those images just jump off the screen at you. Well, if you've got normal vision, your eyes work much the same way, except instead of looking at the image with 2 cameras like a 3D movie, you're looking at it with 2 eyes. It's called binocular vision. You see, our eyes are set about 2.5 inches apart. So if you think about it, it's really not surprising that each eye sees things just a little differently. But thanks to the incredible adaptability of the human brain, it can take these 2 different images, put them together, and allow you to see things in 3 dimensions. However, sometimes this system does not function properly. Now, when this develops, a person has to rely on what is known as monocular vision. In other words, they're only using 1 eye, and in that instance, they only see 2 dimensions, like when you're looking at a photograph. This problem can be a nuisance to some, particularly if you're trying to play outfield on a baseball team. When somebody hits a pop fly up in the air, there's nothing but blue sky and a little round thing coming down. And if both eyes aren't triangulating on that, you can't tell whether that dot's 50 feet away or whether it's 150 feet away, and so you can't judge where it is. You can be without binocular vision because you have only 1 eye, or because you've got 2 eyes that don't focus on the same point. But there's hope. Either with glasses or operation, you can improve your viewpoint. I'm Dr. Red Duke.
If your eyesight isn't as good as it could be, see your doctor right away. Vision is very precious, but some people don't find that out, unfortunately, until they lose it.
Next on Channel 7 News at 5 o'clock, a Miami hometown hitter. You know who we're talking about. He strikes again for the Oakland A's.
And will voyage to the bottom of the sea without ever leaving dry land.
Now there's a better way to keep your carpets and upholstery clean and fresh. Jordan Marsh brings you the Bissell Power Steamer. You can own it yourself and deep clean your carpets or upholstery rent-free anytime you like. The Power Steamer shoots a warm cleaning solution, while powerful suction pulls the liquid and dirt back out. Gets carpeting deep down clean, yet fast pickup action won't soak carpet or upholstery. So don't rent. Own your own Bissell Power Steamer and get the deep cleaning results you'd expect from a professional. Only $179.99 at Jordan Marsh.
I drive an 18-wheeler, and I was due in Tacoma one Friday when I hit bad weather. By the time I got there, the warehouse was closed for the weekend, and I was stuck there till Monday. So I called the special Citibank 800 number.
He said his trip was going to take longer than expected, and he might need some extra cash. Where could he use his Citibank Visa to get some?
She gave me the address of a place nearby. It's not the first time that Citibank's helped me out on the road.
Not just Visa, Citibank Visa.
They say that Dustin Hoffman never gives television interviews, but that was before he talked to Entertainment Tonight. Now, Dustin sits down and chats candidly about his career, his family, even his big failure, Ishtar.
Certainly cost more money than we should have, but we only tried to make a good film.
It's the one exclusive interview you don't want to miss.
I don't lie on Entertainment Tonight.
Dustin Hoffman, the inside story from the legend himself on the next Entertainment Tonight.
Tonight at 7:30 on WSVN.
In tonight's follow-up file, the Cloth World Killer. A former fabric store employee convicted of a vicious double murder last week should die in the electric chair. Well, that's the verdict from a Broward County jury. On November 2nd, 1987, Robert Henry murdered two co-workers at Cloth World in Deerfield Beach. He beat them to death with a hammer, doused their bodies with gasoline, and set them on fire. The motive was robbery. Henry will be formally sentenced next month. The judge is not bound by the jury's decision.
Jerry Sandusky is filling in for Jim Barry. The story I'm hearing right now is that Ben Johnson's agent has contacted the Miami Dolphins to see if the Dolphins are interested in having him as a new wide receiver or something.
Yeah, he has done that, but it's not unique because Ben Johnson's agent has contacted every NFL team. They're contacting all 28. I just spoke with Charlie Winter, the Dolphins director of player personnel, says they are thinking about working out Ben Johnson if he wants to come down to the Dolphins. However, Johnson said it'll take a couple of weeks to decide who he wants to work out for. So that's a developing story. But Johnson is also in the news because he continues to be on a roll, as in rolling downhill. Today, Toronto police seized a track-started pistol from Johnson's car after a motorist claimed Johnson had pointed the gun at him while driving down the highway. Police are investigating the charge. Johnson, in keeping with tradition, is not commenting. On to baseball. 2 games into the American League playoffs, and the Bo Sox are the O-Sox. Game 2 last night in Boston. Sox up 2-zip in the 7th when Jose Canseco, oh my, unloads 2-run shot off of Roger Clemens. You can just feel it at Fenway. It was fizzling. Roger Clemens lasted 7 innings, and the Sox, or the A's rather, jumped in front 4-3, and then with 2 out in the 9th, Rich Gedman, last chance to be a hero. He doesn't come through. Boston 0-2. Oakland takes it 4-3. 2-game lead over Boston. Game 3 in that series is tomorrow in Oakland. Well, the city that thrives on stars has hockey's biggest opening night for Wayne Gretzky last night in Los Angeles. Gretzky, who cost the Kings a mere $15 million, said he was so nervous he was afraid he might fall down when he was introduced. No such blunder for the great one. He was smooth as ever, scoring 1 goal, assisting on 3 others. The King has arrived in L.A., and the Kings have arrived in hockey. L.A. a winner in Gretzky's opener, 8-2 over Detroit. Coming up at 5:30, more on L.A.'s newest star, and at 6, Don Shula talks about the Dolphins' chances of finally beating the Los Angeles Raiders out on the West Coast. So we've got the Dolphins out west, the AL playoffs are going out west, Gretzky's out west. If this is the weekend that the earthquake wipes out the West Coast, I'll never have any sports to cover again.
Sunday, 4 o'clock, right here on Channel 7, right? Hey, Canseco, I think, should be considered an illegal weapon in baseball.
I think
That's
he
how
is.
good that man is.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
Nice to know he's
on
from
the
here.
Olympics in '92. The whole team.
All right.
Stay tuned, everyone, as the news continues.
Hi, I'm Paul Ryan. It's the California coastline, 1,260 miles of spectacular attractions. Join me as we travel the California coastline.
You know what I thoroughly enjoy? Going into a beautiful department store and finding a perfectly marvelous outfit, like this one. I just love this label. And then going straight to Ross and buying the exact same outfit.
Find the exact same clothes that department stores carry for a whole lot less every day at Ross.
I just love it.
Ross has career and casual fashions to fit your style. Get it all now at Ross.
Coming up on Channel 7 News, the search is on for oil in Dade County. They're not ready to drill, but they're looking. The story on the 6 o'clock hour of Channel 7 News.
Here are the two remaining candidates for insurance commissioner, Ken Jenney and Tom Gallagher. Both have been legislators, but Tom Gallagher has also run Florida's Department of Professional Regulation. Jenney favors using your taxes to finance political campaigns. Gallagher is absolutely against that. On the Tallahassee newspaper test on the insurance commissioner's job, Jenney got a 37 and flunked. Gallagher got 84 and passed with flying colors. Tom Gallagher, an insurance commissioner for the people.
Let's hope this is a great weekend for boating. Let's check in with Bob Soper to see if that's true. He's live at Pelican Harbor for Baynanza 88. Bob?
Right, we're at the Pelican Rescue Station over here at Pelican Harbor, and it's just well, it's a little bit on the breezy side, but I think that's kind of perfect for the regatta weekend. You know, Baynanza is underway now, and on the weekend we've got a seafood festival down at Deering Estate, and we've got all the beautiful sailboats out in the bay. We're looking for pretty good weather for the weekend, and here's why I think so. Take a look at the satellite loop. We're looking at a low-pressure cell developing off the Carolinas. See that little bit of turn as we get toward the end of the satellite loop, and it actually is starting to push that stationary front a little bit to the south. Now, it looks like we're going to get some drier air out of that low-pressure cell as well. In the upper levels of the atmosphere, we're seeing a high-pressure cell that is starting to bring down some drier air also in the middle and upper levels of the atmosphere. So overall, just a few showers over the weekend, but a lot of sunshine. 90 degrees for Lauderdale this afternoon, 91 in Miami, 86 out in Kendall, 90 degrees in Homestead, 85 on the beaches, the Keys, and over at Naples, 87 degrees for Vero Beach and West Palm Beach, and 90 degrees over at Fort Myers. Now, as far as our forecast, we're looking for lows in the 40s and 50s in the northern part of the state, 60s central, 70s south, and highs 70 to 90. Closer to home, tonight's forecast calling for mostly fair skies, and it will be mild. Overnight lows 73 to 77 degrees. A little bit later on, we'll be talking to Commissioner Harvey Rubin, who has a very close interest at heart in the Bay, and so we'll be talking about Baynanza a little bit more later on. Denise and Rick?
All righty. Thank you very much, Bob. Rick?
Coming up on Channel 7 News tonight at 5:30, possible freedom for hostage Terry Waite. We're going to have the latest in a live report from Washington to find out what's going on. Also, a rocky marriage of Mike Tyson and Robin Givens is about to come to an end. In our 7 cover story, where there's smoke, there's fire, even if you have a smoke detector in your home. Those 3 stories coming up with all other news tonight at 5:30. Denise?
All this week, we're traveling the California coast, over 1,200 miles of spectacular scenery and attractions. At about the midway point is the city called Monterey. And Channel 7's travel editor Paul Ryan says it's one place you don't want to miss.
Monterey sits on a quiet bay about 120 miles south of San Francisco. It's a place where you will want to spend some time, staying in the seaside bed and breakfast Victorians, strolling along Fisherman's Wharf and enjoying its delightful little attractions. And there's historic old Monterey from the days of Mexico's rule. But your most enduring memories of Monterey will be of its sea life that seems almost domesticated. Bay cruises leaving from the wharf run about $5. The best, however, can be seen right from shore. The kelp beds are home to the California sea otter. This will be your most enduring memory of Monterey, as will this. At one time, Monterey was the sardine canning capital of the world, with 18 canneries along this row, made famous by resident novelist John Steinbeck. But through the 40s, 50s, and 60s, the industry went bust.
By 1972, canning operations here along Monterey's Cannery Row came to an end, and the canneries closed down. They're all gone now, all except this one, and it's reopened. But the operation's just a bit different this time.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium is something of a memorial to those days, I suppose even a bit of an apology. The exhibits represent virtually everything you will find along the California coast, 6,000 creatures in all, making this the world's largest aquarium. Some you can reach right in and touch.
You know, they look like they're kind of velvety, but they feel real.
It's open every day from 10 to 6. Admission is $7 adults, $3 children up to 12 years of age. Traveling the California coast, I'm Paul Ryan.
If you'd like more information on Monterey, write for our free Channel 7 travel guide. Just send a self-addressed stamped legal-sized envelope to Post Office Box 1118 Miami 33138.
Here are some of the people making news tonight. Robin Williams lashing out legally against his former live-in lover. Williams is suing ex-mistress Michelle Carter for extortion, conspiracy, and emotional distress. That is in response to a $6 million suit Carter filed back in 1986, claiming that she contracted herpes from the famous comedian. Well, one of Hollywood's most famous landmarks is soon going to be a memory. They're tearing down Schwab's drugstore. That is where the legend has that Lana Turner was discovered sipping a milkshake. Schwab's has been vacant for 2 years now. It is being demolished to make room for a $50 million shopping center. And tonight, a California judge is trying to cool hot tempers in the latest Hollywood strike. The judge is issuing a temporary restraining order against striking limousine drivers. They have been intimidating studio employees, trying to disrupt TV and movie productions.
And that's Channel 7 News at 5.
We're going to have more news in just 2 minutes on Channel 7 News at 5:30. Stay with us.
Oh.
Denmark's Art Stone at Northwest 7th Avenue and 123rd Street can add that finishing touch you see in all outstanding home or office designs. Save now at Denmark's Pottery Sale, and what a selection! Clay, ceramic, and concrete in all sizes and styles for indoor or outdoor planting. Now through Tuesday, all pottery, 10% off our regular low prices. Denmark's cares about quality. Denmark's is your one-stop outdoor patio shop.
It can happen to you. In a medical emergency, time can be the difference between life and death. But emergency rooms have been closing down all over Florida because of irresponsible multi-million-dollar lawsuits. Amendment 10 will keep our emergency rooms open and ready and stop the healthcare crisis that's threatening our state.
Why are we at the hospital? We have to go to General. That's 20 minutes away.
Stop the healthcare crisis. Vote yes on 10.
In the beginning, people had problems sending for the free consumer information catalog so they could order government booklets to help them stay healthy, do home repairs, and keep food safe. In time, it became easier to send for the free catalog. But when it arrived listing 200 booklets to help you manage your money, find a job, learn about federal benefits, and more, it was still hard to handle. Dark Ages, the address for Pueblo, Colorado was almost lost. But that was history. Today, the free consumer information catalog is easy to send for, easy to get, and easy to use. And now you'll get a free sample booklet with the catalog. So send your name and address to Free Catalog, Pueblo, Colorado 81009. Do it today. It could be the best thing you've done in ages.
South Florida's news station, WSVN 7.
The first officer has to arrive.
Channel 7 News at 5:30.
Good evening from the Channel 7 newsroom. I'm Denise White.
And I'm Rick Sanchez, and these are the top stories tonight at 5:30. Well, actress Robin Givens throwing in the towel tonight in her marriage with heavyweight Mike Tyson. Rumors are that there may be another hostage also released from Lebanon.
And more arrests on the last day of anti-abortion demonstrations in Atlanta.
Actress Robin Givens delivers a knockout punch, and tonight her marriage to heavyweight champion Mike Tyson is down for the count. After several stormy months of marriage, Robin Givens is calling it quits. This follows a series of well-publicized tirades by Tyson, including a possible suicide attempt and threats on his wife's life. Givens has now hired celebrity divorce attorney Marvin Mitchelson to end her marriage. He's also expected to slap Tyson with a restraining order to keep him away from his soon-to-be ex-wife. Givens and her attorney about to hold a news conference right now in Los Angeles. We are attempting to get a live report from that news conference and hope to have it for you in just a couple of minutes.
There are reports out of Beirut tonight that English church envoy Terry Waite will soon be freed. He was taken hostage 20 months ago while negotiating for the release of Americans being held in captivity. An Arab newspaper is quoting sources as saying Waite was moved to southern Beirut for possible release. Channel 7's Tom Cole joins us live from Washington with more on the story. Tom?
Denise, we've been down this road so many times before, it's not surprising that no one wants to comment or speculate as to the new information. The administration had nothing new to offer today. Even the British Foreign Office would not confirm the report, saying, quote, "We have no hard evidence that this is anything more than what's been said before." What the newspaper did say is that Waite could be released within the next 72 hours. Waite was seeking the release of 2 American hostages believed held by the Iranian-backed Islamic Jihad when he became a hostage himself. He had previously negotiated the release of a number of Western hostages. Today at the White House, President Reagan would not take reporters' questions on the subject.
Bill, I can't take any questions.
Even Middle East experts are playing it cautious. Dr. Yona Alexander is not ready to pronounce this development as significant.
Well, it is, again, part of the psychological warfare. If there is some movement, clearly the perpetrators are not going to release any hostage, whether Waite or somebody else, just because they're great humanitarians.
White House spokesman Marlon Fitzwater said there was nothing new concerning the fate of the hostages, but concerning Waite, Fitzwater said, quote, "We hope he's released." One recent event that's fueled speculation about some sort of movement is the restoration of diplomatic relations between Britain and Iran. But as I said earlier, Denise, we've been down this road before.
Yes, that's right. Tom, are lawmakers from Florida saying anything about these rumors?
Denise, as you mentioned earlier, the lid is on. The Florida delegation is very cautious about what they say. House Foreign Affairs Chairman Dante Fascell would not comment. Earlier in the week, Senator Bob Graham said of the release of Mitleshwar Singh that he was hopeful and optimistic more would come. But today, that's the line they're sticking with, hopeful and optimistic.
All righty. Thank you, Tom. Channel 7's Tom Cole reporting live from Washington.
Tonight, thousands of student protesters are taking to the streets in Seoul, South Korea. It is the worst rioting since the end of the Summer Olympics. Students battling police in a huge anti-government and anti-American protest. Students throwing firebombs and the police hurling tear gas in a violent street fight. Tonight, violent rioting also in Algeria. Thousands protesting high prices and unemployment. President of Algeria declaring a state of emergency and imposing a curfew to calm the violence. Government buildings have been burned, cars and buses overturned, and windows broken all over the country. Tonight, police patrolling the streets, trying to keep the peace.
Federal agents in Iowa are looking for the person who mailed a human skull to a Cedar Rapids television station. An unsuspecting receptionist who opened the box first thought it was a cantaloupe. The box also contained a threatening letter to the city council. An agent investigating this case says medical tests indicate the skull probably came from a mausoleum. Tonight, the siege of Atlanta continues. Anti-abortion protesters demonstrating outside abortion clinics. Women wanting abortions had to be taken over police barricades as protesters blocked the entrance to abortion clinics. About 50 people are under arrest after ignoring police warnings to move away from the clinic doors.
Commanding 2, ordering all persons directly in front of me on the sidewalk and blocking this driveway to move. If you do not move, you will give me no other choice but to place you under arrest.
Some protesters had to be physically carried away. It is the 4th day of anti-abortion protests in Atlanta.
George Bush is working to boost his campaign's momentum. Bush is praising his running mate's performance in Wednesday's debate. That despite polls that show Democrat Lloyd Bentsen was the clear winner. Quayle is campaigning in the Midwest, meanwhile, and he says he's not worried about the new Democratic TV ads that are attacking him. He says it just shows the Democrats don't have anything bad to say about George Bush. The Democratic ticket, meanwhile, campaigning together Thursday in Texas. Lloyd Bentsen laughing over Bush's claim that Quayle won the debate. But the situation in Texas is no laughing matter. Democrats are still trailing in that all-important state. Dukakis and Benson are hoping the debate will strengthen the Democrats' stand in the Lone Star State.
Unions at Eastern Airlines flying high tonight over a possible TWA takeover. Charles Bryan, head of Machinists Union, says he would consider wage cuts if TWA chairman Carl Icahn buys Eastern. Eastern workers would apparently prefer to work for Icahn than their current boss, Frank Lorenzo. There are reports tonight of a possible Eastern takeover, but a definite deal has not yet been announced. Sally Fitz is here now with a look at the stories making headlines tonight in South Florida. Sally?
Denise, a highway shooting near Tampa has residents there shocked and worried tonight. A man is hospitalized after an unidentified motorist shot at the pickup truck in which he was a passenger. It happened on Interstate 275 near Tampa. The truck tried to pass on the shoulder of the road, and the driver of the car opened fire. Also at 6, a small plane spotted flying near the Space Shuttle Discovery caused quite a stir at Cape Canaveral. Now, investigators are checking out another plane that violated the shuttle's airspace and 2 highway patrol troopers who may be responsible. We'll have an exclusive report. And we'll continue our investigation into a series of escapes from Broward's Juvenile Detention Center. Another guard is on his way out, but the security problems may not be over. These stories and more at 6 o'clock. We'll see you then.
We'll look for you, too. Thank you, Sally. Rick?
You know, Palm Beach has often been known as the high point in Florida for both money and status and high society, but now it's also being known as a place to search for youth and for health. Tonight, Channel 7's Solon Gray and Beach Boy Mike Love go in search of eternal youth.
On the table, Mike Love. He's a practitioner of the Maharishi Ayurveda system. First, they rub you with oils. A team of masseurs starts at the top, then, like mirror images, they proceed to rub your body. It's part of the technique.
We've had a panel of 35 medical doctors sitting with these Ayurvedic physicians, observing this and verifying the validity of this technique.
After the rub, warm oil is poured in a stream on Mike's forehead. What's it like?
You're there, but it just blows all the stress out of your mind.
We talked with Mike about what the Maharishi's Ayurveda treatment does. It's said to avert disease. It's said that for every year of treatment, you lose 1.5 years of physical age. Mike's 47.
They have the Western doctors there who've gauged my age according to the parameters they used to be 21 at that time.
The health center's been in Palm Beach for 6 months. Dr. Rothenberg, an MD in family medicine, graduate of NYU, added Ayurveda to his practice 4 years ago.
It's 6,000 years old. It's the oldest medical system. It's at the roots of modern Western medicine as well as traditional Chinese medicine.
This medical practice is 6,000 years old, and if what they say is true, these oils are like the fountain of youth. Mike's been practicing this technique of rejuvenation for 4 years. Now, has he seen an improvement since they told him he had the body of a 21-year-old?
I say I have a body of a 19-year-old Adonis, you know, which is kind of, you know, it's kind of promotion, actually, you know. It's so those teenage girls out there will buy records, you know. Not really.
Solon Gray, Channel 7 News.
Incidentally, Dr. Rothenberg says that toe-day treatment is recommended a couple of times a year in a clinic and daily at home.
Coming up on Channel 7 News at 5:30, lines at the unemployment office get shorter.
And working 9 to 5 isn't what it used to be. We're going to show you why.
I'm Steve Crowley. How do you find cash for college? In some very unusual places. I'll show you where and how.
You know iLab for its 1-hour service, but did you know about their everyday low prices? You can get 50% savings on quality frames every day at iLab, but you have to ask for ideals. Just think, hundreds of frames at half price. Ask for ideals at iLab and save. Oh, those are nice, very nice. Everyday low prices and 1-hour service. Only at iLab. Glass is fast, glass is right, price is right. Call for an exam or bring in your prescription.
Hurry in to Richway Store's out-of-business sale today. Now you can save up to 50% off Richway's already low prices. Everything must be sold to the bare walls. That means audio, video, clothing, appliances, housewares, and more. Up to 50% off. Get fantastic savings on top quality name brands like these and dozens more. Make your choice now. Nothing will be held back. Hurry in. Save more than ever before at Richway Store's out-of-business sale.
A small drop in the unemployment rate giving a big boost to the economy. The jobless rate falling by 0.2% to 5.4% in September. That means 255,000 people have now joined the nation's payrolls. Tonight, President Reagan upbeat about the drop in unemployment. The president is basking in the glow of this good economic news.
These numbers are just shorthand for the more important fact that 255,000 persons got new jobs in September, and 18 million new jobs have been created since the recovery began in 1982.
But tonight, unemployment in Florida remains the same. The jobless rate holding steady at 4.9%. It is the 4th month in a row unemployment in our state has been less than 5%.
All right, here we go. Marriage versus career. Couples in the 80s are having a real tough time trying to balance both of these. But tonight, Channel 7's Lisa Colombo tells us about a part-time professionals, a new breed of employee carrying a lighter workload.
Wendy Herner is a part-time professional. She's a project engineer at a chair manufacturing company. Since 1976, 31% more women like Wendy are choosing reduced work schedules. Most have small children at home. Originally, Wendy planned to quit work when she started her family, but those plans changed.
I had this great job, and to step out of a job in a technical field and try to go back to it in 8 years, I was a little worried I wouldn't go back at the same level.
But companies recognize that reducing schedules is a good way to keep trained workers. It also saves money because they don't have to search for new employees.
If an employee walks away from a job for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, it's very hard to come back and get up to speed. Things are changing all the time in the engineering field, and you have to keep in touch, and this is a super way to do that.
Employers are quick to point out that not all professionals can have part-time schedules. Certain jobs require full-time hours. But for workers like Wendy, who want more free time at home and can still handle the job with a part-time schedule, it's a good deal.
You know, I think it's important to have a meal for kids and to be there when they get home from school and hear what's going on and read them books. And I just, not that other people can't also do that, but I just like to do that a lot. I just always thought of myself as an at-home mom.
Now that more companies are giving employees the option of part-time careers, a growing number of workers are able to stay on the job while taking more time to enjoy home life. Lisa Colombo, Channel 7 News.
And as more people place more emphasis on the home and the family, employers are likely to see a lot more employees requesting part-time positions.
A drop in the unemployment rate sends the stock market soaring. At the bell, the Dow Jones Industrial Average climbing over 42.5 points, closing at 2150.25. Volume on the big board, 216,390,000 shares, with each share of common stock gaining 61 cents. Good news tonight for parents trying to cope with the higher cost of a higher education. The Senate is giving overwhelming approval to a new plan. It allows parents to escape interest penalties on savings bonds used to pay for college. It would help save hundreds, maybe even thousands of dollars. But the plan faces an uncertain future in the House.
Scholarships, of course, are the smartest way to pay for college education, but tonight in part 2 of a special series, Channel 7's money editor Steve Crowley says we don't have to be that smart to win some of that free money.
Very differently than someone who's... The total tab for tuition continues to go faster than almost everything else. For 8 years in a row, college costs have outpaced inflation. No wonder 8 out of 10 students rely on at least some financial aid. Dan Cassidy's in business to match needy students with available scholarships. Here's good news. Dan says many times the bottom line's not important on the parent's income or the student's grades.
So you can't use the excuses that my parents earn too much money, my grades aren't good enough, or the deadlines aren't till fall, or I'm too old to get a scholarship. None of it's true in the private sector.
Dan's even filled a whole book with his list of scholarships and qualifications. Here's a sampling of some of the more unusual awards. Some of them are very strange, but profitable. There's a $1,500 scholarship for descendants of the Declaration of Independence signers. Would-be stand-up comics can win a $1,500 Laurel and Hardy scholarship. There's even a scholarship for high schoolers who have been a golf caddy for 2 years. The point is, there's a scholarship for just about anybody. It's good PR for companies and civic groups, and it also makes good business sense. It's usually a tax write-off, number one, that it could attract the best and brightest graduates to the company, students who wouldn't be getting that diploma without the help of a scholarship. If you'd like more information on finding financial aid for college, just write me here at Channel 7 News, P.O. Box 1118, Miami, 33138, and please send me your self-addressed stamped envelope. Steve Crowley, Channel 7 News.
Incidentally, a college education now costs up to $10,000 for 4 years. Scholarships can be picked up by... scholarship can pick up most or all of that bill, that is. But competition for funds can be real tough. It's a good idea to apply early, at least a year before starting college.
If you light up, listen up. BIC is recalling millions of its new cigarette lighters. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the flame may not go out. The lighters being recalled are the BIC Fixed Flame brand. They are sold in a plastic pouch or tray and are clearly labeled Fixed Flame. If you have one of these lighters, return it to the place of purchase for a refund. If you need more information, you can call the Consumer Product Safety Commission at 1-800-638-2772. That number again is 1-800-638-2772. Now let's go back out to Bob Soper. He is live at Pelican Harbor for Baynanza 88 with a weekend weather update. Bob?
Right, Denise, I'll tell you, I've got some friends of yours here. One of them is the little Ollie the lobster, or is it Freddie the Florida lobster? Anyway, this was just caught just minutes ago here in Florida Bay. There you go. And I've got my friend here next to me, Parky the Pelican, and these are a couple of the delicacies that you can enjoy over the weekend at Deering Estate. Wait, you can't eat that right now. You got to wait till tomorrow. No, you can't teach these pelicans anything. Anyway, it looks like pretty good weather for Bonanza for the weekend. We got the regatta going on and the whole shooting match, so we'll tell you more about that in a minute. Take a look at the satellite picture. A close-up view of that shows you that we've got a little better situation than we had yesterday, with clouds over the middle of the state and not quite so many clouds over South Florida. That looks like that's going to continue. Now, as we back out into the middle of the nation, we can see quite a lot of cloud cover up over the northeast and out over the plain states, extending into Colorado. Underneath there, just a few scattered showers. No real heavy weather so far today or this afternoon. Up in the northeast, some scattered showers. Around South Florida and Central Florida, some scattered showers. And over Oklahoma and Texas, out into New Mexico and Colorado, just a few scattered showers. Pretty much that way over the weekend. A lot of clear spaces with just some showers out in the western states and the southern plains, and some snow up in Canada, but mostly over the northeast. Going to be some scattered showers in the form of rain. In our neck of the woods, just a few isolated showers. So it looks like we're going to stay pretty good. Winds are going to continue out of the northeast at about 15 miles per hour in South Florida. So anybody wants to get out there with their sailboat Saturday, Sunday, or Monday, you're going to really enjoy it. And by the way, you want to see the regatta when it kicks off tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. It's some of the best spots at Dinner Key, right off shore of Key Biscayne, perhaps Matheson Hammock, and there's a couple of others I'm sure some of you people have figured out on your own from previous years. But it is a sight to behold, and don't forget your camera, Denise and Rick, because it's going to be a biggie. As Commissioner Harvey Rubin told me, he says this is the 8th year for Bonanza, and it continues to grow and get better and better.
Absolutely. So we should...
67th Street to the state, and they're going to be able to see Bonanza. They'll be able to see the regatta at the same time. They can taste the delicacies from the bay as we have our seafood fest at that time. And it's just a time when everybody can celebrate the fact that we have this beautiful natural resource here.
And all right, I put my friend down, so you don't need to worry about me losing any fingers. I counted them all. They're still there, Denise and Rick. It looks like a great weekend for our Bonanza.
A good weekend, and let's hope it's going to be a safe weekend, too, because we're going to have a lot of people, as you point out, doing some boating. So
a lot of people. As long as they don't do a lot of this, they'll be fine. Yeah. Coming up on Channel 7 News at 5:30, when was the last time you checked your smoke detector? The answer could save your life. We're going to show you why.
And the great Gretzky shows why he's great, no matter what uniform he's wearing.
Get ready for something you've never tasted before. Fresh and Natural brand premium orange juice.
Fresh and Natural, a luscious name. Fresh and Natural, the difference is plain. Not from concentrated, fresh squeezed, taste it. Fresh and Natural, come on and taste it. Come on and taste it. Fresh and Natural.
All premium.
Fresh and Natural.
Not from concentrate. Fresh and Natural orange juice. The name says it all.
2 Florida Highway Patrol officers are suspended for buzzing the Space Shuttle Discovery at Cape Canaveral last week. Authorities say they used an FHP plane. We'll have details at 6.
You know what I thoroughly enjoy? Going into a beautiful department store and finding a perfectly marvelous outfit, like this one. I just love this label. And then going straight to Ross and buying the exact same outfit.
Find the exact same clothes that department stores carry for a whole lot less every day at Ross.
I just love it.
Ross has career and casual fashions to fit your style. Get it all now at Ross.
Updating the top stories we're following for you right now. The body of a baby girl is discovered among the trash in a vacant lot in northwest Miami. Investigators are now looking for the baby's mother. They're asking neighbors if they've seen a woman in the area who looked like she was about to have a baby. The mother could be charged, incidentally, with murder. Also, more medical waste washing up on South Florida's shores, and this time the Navy is to blame. Hundreds of unused needles washed ashore near Lake Worth. The Navy is now investigating to find out which ship the needles may have come from.
In tonight's 7 cover story, where there's smoke, there is fire, and that's why a smoke detector is so important. Thousands of people die in fires every year, but overall, the number of deaths has been going down in the last 10 years because more and more homes now have smoke detectors. But are they working? Contributing correspondent Herb Weisbaum says that's a question that has fire officials very concerned.
It's a fact. Smoke detectors save lives.
According to the U.S. Fire Administration, if your home has a smoke detector, your risk of dying in a fire is cut in half. Put that another way. If your house or apartment doesn't have a smoke detector, your chances of dying in a fire are double. Smoke detectors are good, but they're not perfect. Studies indicate that as a detector gets older, its failure rate goes up.
Anything that's electronic has a tendency to wear out. Smoke detectors are electronic.
Look at the numbers. A new smoke detector has a failure rate of 1 to 3%. After 10 years, that failure rate is a lot higher, in the 16 to 30% range. And after 20 years, it's in the 30 to 50% range.
It's been 10 to 15 years now since the push began to get people to install smoke detectors. That means that millions of detectors in homes and apartments across the country are at the age where they could begin to fail.
That's why it's so important to maintain your smoke detector. That means changing the batteries once a year and vacuuming it out at least once a year. Don't take the cover off. That could damage the unit. You also need to test your smoke detector every 2 weeks or so, something most people don't do. Proper testing means doing more than just pushing the test button. That only lets you know the alarm works. It doesn't tell you about the smoke sensor.
Now, if you want to truly test the smoke chamber, you need to introduce smoke into it. And to do that safely, one recommendation that the fire service has is to just simply light a candle and blow it out and let the smoke from the candle enter the smoke detector chamber.
If your smoke detector doesn't work, replace it right away. A new detector won't cost you that much. In fact, it's the best life insurance you can buy. This is Herb Weisbaum reporting.
If you have a smoke detector in your home, fire officials say you should check it regularly, at least every 2 or 3 weeks.
Jerry Sandusky filling in for Jim Barry. You know, talking a little bit about Wayne Gretzky in just a little bit. I can't seem to think Wayne Gretzky playing anywhere outside of Canada. It just doesn't seem like he would belong. Fish out of water.
Oh, let's stay away from the cliches, but you know, it was more than just the biggest trade in hockey. It was a trade unlike anything we've ever seen in sports because he left more than just a team. He left a country. Yeah. This guy was an idol of Canada.
Not anymore.
And now he's just one among millions of idols out in L.A., right? Before Wayne Gretzky arrived, hockey barely existed in Los Angeles. Most people thought the L.A. Kings was a jazz group. But now Gretzky is part of Glitter City, and last night in his debut performance with the Kings, hockey's biggest star played to rave reviews. NBC's Keith Morrison has the story.
Had butterflies, so he said, as he prepared for his opening night with the Los Angeles Kings.
I get nervous just like everyone else, and tonight will be no exception. I'll be awful nervous.
There has, after all, been terrific pressure on this young man since he stunned hockey and his native Canada by moving to Los Angeles.
The holder of 49 NHL records, number 99, Wayne Gretzky.
And last night, as he got his Hollywood send-off, a capacity crowd wanted to see if he could do it here the way he did it there. And yes, he could. Gretzky scored the first Kings goal of the new season, added 3 assists, and led his team to an 8-2 romp over the Detroit Red Wings. That goal was, by the way, his 584th. New wife Janet Jones Gretzky watching proudly from the stands. The Kings, having paid dearly for him, were happily anticipating big ticket sales, and Gretzky, polite as ever, was savoring more modest achievements.
Actually, the playing was probably the easy part. Going out when I was introduced, I didn't want to fall. That was the hard part.
Keith Morrison, NBC News, Los Angeles.
You can pay a guy millions of dollars, but he still gets nervous. Nice to see a multi-millionaire worried about falling on his face, huh?
And he made the move because of his wife. Isn't that right?
Well, I think the cash had something to do with it.
Just a little.
But love, yeah, throw some love in there. What the heck?
She wanted to move back to California.
Sure, she's an actress, so naturally there's more work in L.A. for her. That's where she's based out of. And I guess it was easier for him to move to L.A. than for her to move to Canada.
Yeah.
You know, actually, when you think about it, it's more appropriate to have Gretzky playing as a King than as an Oiler, because the man truly is one of the greatest.
Here we go with the cliches again.
I think the Canadians would be real upset about that. In fact, they're still upset about that.
They are indeed.
I'm sure. They lost a national treasure.
They lost a guy that everyone in the country could relate to. Yeah. And now he's just another multi-millionaire with a pretty wife in L.A. Huh?
Be careful with those cliches, Jerry, and thank you very much.
Stay tuned. The news will continue, we promise.
I'm entertainment editor Ruth Batchelor. What hot new magazine is spying on the stars? And who's the latest crew member to sign on with the Starship Enterprise? I'll tell you coming up on Channel 7 News at 5:30.
So many of us enjoy our retirement here in Florida, but frankly, we worry about things that could change that. One of my biggest worries today, Amendment 10. Amendment 10 will limit what some very irresponsible people will have to pay when they injure others. That means drunk drivers, toxic polluters, even drug dealers get yet another break. To protect ourselves, we all need to vote no on Amendment 10.
Paper towels.
If you're the kind of shopper who goes to Zare with only one thing in mind.
How about this?
Paper towels. Paper towels.
That's good.
It's perfect.
You could be missing out on some really great looks.
Look at these jeans, Mom. Ooh, nice price. Paper towels.
Sooner or later,
Towels. Did somebody say jeans?
it'll hit you.
Look at all this great stuff.
So,
Blouses.
why wait?
Get a good look at Zare.
There's something special taking off from Miami every day. Something that can lift you to new heights and take you near and far to 153 cities throughout the U.S., the Caribbean, Europe, and Asia. American Airlines from Miami, offering you American to more of America and more of the world. American Airlines, something special in the air.
Coming up on the 6 o'clock hour of News Center 7.
This wasn't the only small plane to violate shuttle airspace. This Florida Highway Patrol plane may have done the same thing. I'm Penny Daniels, and I'll have the exclusive...
Taking the Sark run.